So imagine trying to control a high-stakes surgical robot or, I don't know, a complex factory line. But your mouse and keyboard are connected to a computer 6 miles away.
Yeah, and doing that without a single millisecond of lag, which is wild.
Right. Welcome to today's deep dive. We're going to find out how that's actually possible. Our mission today is to decode an HDTVSupply spec sheet for a very specific piece of hardware. It's the Smart-AVI P2P-KVR302 IPGard point-to-point dual-head DVI, CT5, and fiber receiver.
That is quite a mouthful.
It really is. Okay, let's unpack this because right out of the gate, that wildly long name sounds less like a piece of AV equipment and more like a secret agent's gadget manifest.
It definitely reads like a military supply manifest, and well, that makes perfect sense when you look at its real-world application.
Because it's not exactly for your living room.
Exactly. The manufacturer explicitly designs this for, quote, mission-critical environments. We're talking about secure connectivity where failure simply isn't an option.
Right, the stakes are super high.
Yeah, so it basically takes 4K video at 30 Hz or 1080p at 60 Hz, plus analog audio and transparent USB 2.0, and transmits them flawlessly intact.
And I'm looking at the port array here, and the inclusion of RS233 alongside the video and USB tells me this isn't just for watching movies remotely.
Yeah, definitely not.
I mean, RS232 is an old-school serial communication standard. That means this is built for industrial control, like sending commands to a medical laser or a secure government terminal.
Or a factory floor machine from an entirely different building, yeah.
So it's basically like an ultra-powerful, invisible extension cord for a highly complex computer setup.
That is a great analogy. But, an extension cord is only impressive if it can actually reach far enough.
Right, exactly.
And what's fascinating here is the sheer physical scale of transmission this unit can handle depending on the medium you use.
Like copper versus fiber.
Right. So over standard Cat5 copper cabling, you can push that signal up to 100 meters. But if you switch to multimode fiber optic, which basically bounces light signals at different angles down the core, you hit 500 meters.
Okay, well, that is far.
It gets crazier. If you utilize single-mode fiber, which uses a much narrower laser for a direct straight-line transmission, this receiver pulls data from 10 kilometers away.
Wait, 10 kilometers? Like, actually?
Yes, 10 kilometers.
How on earth is sending 4K video feeds and, live millimeter-perfect mouse movements across 10 kilometers not turn into a laggy, unusable mess?
Well, the spec sheet points directly to what they call ultra-low latency JPEG 2000 compression.
Okay, how is that different from regular compression?
So unlike standard video compression, which saves bandwidth by waiting for motion changes to update the screen, which, inevitably causes buffering, and lagged JPEG 2000 compresses the data frame by frame.
Oh, I see.
Because it treats every single frame as an independent image, it doesn't need to buffer or predict the next frame. That is exactly how it achieves that zero latency feel even from towns away.
So think of that JPEG 2000 compression like a hyper-efficient translator. Instead of shipping a massive heavy book like the raw 4K video across 10 kilometers, the system instantly translates it into a lightweight shorthand.
Exactly.
It beams it across the fiber optic line and translates it back so perfectly on the other side that the monitor never even knows the difference.
Spot on. But putting enterprise-grade JPEG 2000 encoders into a discrete metal box doesn't come cheap.
I was going to say this can't be a budget item.
No, that underlying engineering explains why we're looking at a $12,274 price tag, and that's down from an MSRP of $1,499.
Wow, okay.
But for that investment, you're getting plug-and-play installation and built-in EDID learning.
Right, so instead of you having to manually configure your displays, the unit essentially talks to whatever monitor you plug in, reads its preferred resolution, and adjusts the signal automatically.
Yeah, so you don't have to fiddle with the settings at all. And it's built like an absolute tank. It's rated for over 135,000 hours of reliability.
That's, what, over 15 years of continuous 24/7 operation?
Something like that, yeah. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, that reliability is exactly why we're digging into this today.
Right, why it actually matters for you listening.
Exactly. Even if you don't need a 10-kilometer DVI cable for your home office, this represents the absolute pinnacle of AV reliability.
Because when a hospital or a secure defense network simply cannot afford a dropped frame or a disconnected mouse, this is the hardware that steps up.
Yeah, it sets the baseline for what is technically possible in data transmission today.
So what does this all mean? At the end of the day, this complex box is the unsung hero of ultra-secure long-distance AV networks.
It really is.
It operates entirely in the background, proving that physical distance is no longer a bottleneck for perfect real-time control.
And this raises an important question for all of us to consider. If we can now transmit flawless, zero-latency 4K video and peripheral control from 10 kilometers away, how long until the concept of the personal computer disappears entirely?
That is a wild thought.
Right, like
Yeah.
we might soon live in a world where our local devices are just dumb glass screens drawing all their processing power from centralized neighborhood mainframes miles and miles away.